documenting the front lines of the AI revolution, the AI Rebels podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the AI Rebels podcast. I am your co-host, Spencer.
And I'm your other co-host, Jacob. And we are very excited to have, all the way from, oh man, did I just forget? Poland, right?
Poland,
Grigorij?
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
It came. It just took a second. Grigorij Dudnik.
Exactly.
Man, I'm
Grigorij Dudnik.
butchering this. Dudnik. From Poland. We have so many questions for you, Grigorij. But first, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your path to AI. How did you get from wherever you were into AI? What's that story?
Yes, it's like quite long story, so let's make it like very short. I've been always interested in actually automating things, in making like AI computer programs, and not actually computer programs, but devices at all, to work for me, work as a humans, to just be able to make some parts of my work and be able to free some part of my time. And some very long time ago, I actually started my engineering career as mechanical engineer. After a few years, I switched to electronical engineering. After that, I started to play around some Raspberry Pis. So like for Raspberry Pis, you need to learn some Python. I learned some high-level languages like Python and others. And then started interested in deep learning. And after after Gen AI appeared in the late 22, I seen that that's quite a cool thing. This will allow me to do many like automations I would and would be impossible before. Like for example, Tinder GPT we will talk about, or many others. And what's fun about the Gen AI itself, like in opposite to like normal programming or some like deep learning techniques that been used before Gen AI. With Gen AI, you can do like much more nice things with really smaller effort. Yes. So that's why when I seen what actually the Gen AI can do, what it can do with LLMs, and giving that LLM some tools, making agent actually, it's just amazing. I decided that this is the thing I want to do in my life, and started my career, in that direction.
Yeah, I had a similar revelation with AI when so there was a startup that I was working at, left that startup, and then a little while later ChatGPT 4 came out, and I was using it, and I realized that it could do tasks that the machine learning team at my last startup had been spending probably 10 months, 11 months just getting a data set ready to train on. And I knew that, in that moment I was like, well, this is the future. There's no denying it now.
Exactly that feeling I had.
So Grigorij, when was that? How long ago was that?
You mean switching to Gen AI? Like on the very beginning of the Gen AI, like late 22 or maybe early 23.
Okay, so you've seen all the iterations of Gen AI.
So it's only 2 years actually. 2.5.
Yeah, it feels like it's been 5.
Crazy.
It's amazing how fast it's been moving. So what would you say is kind of like the why behind your work? Beyond just always being interested in it, do you find like a deeper fulfillment, or do you think it's just, cool as hell to build cool things?
As I said, actually, I mean, we can say there's 2 motivations here. Actually, yes. As first of them, as I said, is motivation to just automate some parts of my life. And that's why the Clean Coder appeared, that AI coding framework. that's why Tinder GPT appeared, my first project with Gen AI, where I just automated my work on the Tinder. So yes, I just want to not do some things that someone else can do for me, especially when you have that someone else who is a robot.
Yeah.
So, so yes, yes, it's first motivation, and second one is that curiosity. Actually, is that tech curiosity. I mean, like I don't know, like I'm very passionate about tech, but especially I passionate about that intelligent systems.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Probably because they are like complicated and their output is really like amazing. Maybe because it's like just cutting edge. Yes,
I think in a lot of ways it's like the ultimate engineer brain trap because there are infinite little puzzles to solve. Along the way.
Maybe yes, like how to say, like Gen AI hopefully doing the puzzles to solve much easier than in previous like techniques, but still, like yes, it will never end what you can invent and solve.
I mean, it's almost like it's addicting when you start using it, because all of a sudden your abilities are amplified exponentially. If you know how to use AI, Gen AI, LLMs, whatever it is, it truly, your reach just expands. And once you have that ability, it's very hard to go back. I'm sure you've seen that with Clean Coder. Now that you have Clean Coder and you have this ability to automate and help clean up your code, fix these bugs, when you tear that away, all of a sudden you're like, it's not that I can't do this. I just don't want to.
Yes, and actually, I think in Clean Coder, the biggest fact that maybe addicted me, as you said, that I'm able to do the job like in 2 hours, the job that normally 3 programmers will do in whole the day. Before the Gen AI. So yes, like increasing performance, like doing much more nice things. And also actually about that third project, the robots placed on the local LLMs on the Raspberry Pi and converting them to physical robots. The thing especially I liked in that one is that because you have not only Gen AI here, it's actually a combination of 2 my passions, the Gen AI itself and electronical mechanical engineering. Because yes, it's nowadays it's already a lot of people who doing some Gen AI, who doing some agents who can code, but not really much people can do robots, do hardware engineering, and even less people can do both.
So what excites you most about bringing language models into robotics? Is there a specific application that you've been working on, or is it just like a case of you see that the possibilities there are endless and you want to explore the territory?
Yes. See, so I started the project working with the Gen AI on robots at I think maybe already 2 years ago, maybe less. So when like some local models appeared and there have been some first, maybe not first, but some already more or less like reasonable quality 7B models. And 7 billion parameters, it's already a model you can run on the Raspberry Pi. You will still, wait for response for like 2 minutes, for example, but it will be some response here. Yes, and the time I was starting like working with that, I just came with that idea to run a 7B LLM on Raspberry Pi. I did it with Olama, I remember, and like when I tell it to some of my friends who also doing Gen AI, like they didn't believe me that it's possible. They say, what? How it is? Yes, so like I've been firstly just passionate about it, if it's gonna work or not. Later, I decided to, well, if some Gen AI like LM works on the Raspberry Pi, why not to make some robot, and place that Raspberry Pi with the LM on the mobile platform and make it do some intelligent decisions. So that's how, yes, that's how the project of the trolley dilemma appeared. So I created actually a real, like, physical toy. I take a toy train, like for children's, and added the Raspberry Pi to this. Added some control systems for that engine, and actually that toy train been able to solve the trolley dilemma problem.
Really?
Yes.
Put little Lego guys out on the train or something.
Yes,
That
exactly,
is
something
awesome.
like that. Some toy figures, and you write into him that, okay, on the right track you have some, say, innocent person. On the left track you have your boss, and who you would to run over.
Oh my gosh, what did it do?
And it been writing a reasoning about why it thinks to run over that person or that person. And after running that reasoning, it makes decision. And based on the decision LM written, our control system actually running our, like, train physically to right or left side.
Wow, that is really interesting. So if this were to scale up, where this could be a path towards fully autonomous robots, right? Where they're able to reason through, make decisions. Have you thought about what's the downside? What's the downside of pairing LLMs with robotics? Are there any negatives?
Are there any negatives? Well, so wait, maybe let's talk about positives for beginning.
Yeah.
After that, we'll come to negatives. So actually, like, there's a lot of, like, potential applications we can do with that mobile robotics, where we have, like, self-conscious, like, intelligent robot that can do stuff that, like, just impossible to do with classical if-else loops, like classical algorithms. Our robot can, like, say, where it depends of use case, but let's say we have, like, robot who need to monitor the lines, like electricity lines. If some electricity cable been, like, broken in the line or in the middle of the desert, where it's just impossible for human to come very fast, and that robot who just some drone flying around, looking on that line, watching, okay, there is something broken here, and, like, maybe that intelligent robot can also, like, do some repairs on the fly. So it will decide, okay, I need to, let's think, to repair that, I need to, like, screw that 4 screws out, like, take out that cover, need to take wrench number 5 and do something else. So, we can do a lot of things that are just impossible to program with just, like, if-else loops with classical algorithms, where we need,
could you
like,
explain just sorry to bust in real quick. Could we just get a quick, like, very surface level explanation of why traditional algorithms aren't able to do this for our non-technical listeners?
Yes, sure. So let's imagine that trolley dilemma again. And you can't actually somehow measure which going right or left, running over that one or another person is better or worse. Yes, it's like, no, we can, like, measure, I don't know, height, mass of that person, whatever, but we can't. You need to have, like, human brain here to really analyze which one will be lesser evil and so on. And these decisions, yes, that decision will be not so like not like it will be not the same for all cases. Maybe even it will be not so obvious which decision is better. So with that if else loops, you can see that okay, someone like have, I don't know, that tail and someone have that, so that is bigger, so let's go that way. But
Yeah.
yes, but in case of such very complicated decisions, you just not able to do that with the if else loop. And that's why we need like human brain or imitation of the human brain, which is LLM.
Interesting.
Thank you
So-
again. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I thought that you were on a good roll there, and I was like, I want to prompt him into this direction too.
Yes. And returning to your Jacob question about that downsides. So yes, it's you meant like some ethical downside or like technical downsides of that.
Yeah, like why isn't everybody doing this? It seems to make sense. Like I like the way you just described the LLM, because that's often how I think of an LLM, is kind of a human brain. It helps make those connections. It builds memories based on the data, is kind of how I envision it. So why isn't this being implemented into robotics on a grander scale?
Okay, yes, here's few problems. First of them, I think the biggest one is the computation power. So, well, LLMs, it's large language models, so they are large. Problem is them that usually to run some chat GPT or like some big model, we need to have like big GPU centers, and the GPUs, the graphical cards, they are like, they weigh a lot, they cost a lot, they consume power a lot, and that making that GPUs are totally not suitable to be placed on some mobile platform, as a robot, for example. So here is the problem. Actually, on the robots, we have some microcomputers as, let's say, Raspberry Pi, maybe something more advanced like NVIDIA Jetsons. But still, this is the platforms like with much smaller computation power. So we can't run some bigger models here. And yes, the building such a robot is the like way of compromises. We need to really care about like prompts of our model, really care about the model itself. Hopefully that's we have that small models like 7 billion parameters models, even 3 billion parameters models, which are like more and more intelligent with every day. Like definitely now that models are much more intelligent than 1 year ago or 1.5 when I started doing that project. And yes, so like one thing here is to choose like appropriate model that will be just not too big but still intelligent enough to do your task in that robot.
Right.
Yes, we can do also another techniques as quantization of the model, as maybe fine tuning for some when our model needs to do some narrow like case. Hopefully also there's some progress on the microcomputers itself, so they also like, yes, they're also getting better. It's not so fast progress like in case of LLMs itself, but still there is some. So yes, so actually it's very often the game of making that game of trade-offs of making that small model to be very performant still.
And I'm curious, do you think that we'll hit a point? I'm curious if you have thoughts on this. Do you think we'll hit a point where local models will be powerful enough that they can handle the whole workflow, or do you think that there will always kind of be some need for like, hey, like, we run a small model on the robot, and then it runs into a really sticky problem, and it makes a call to GPT 6.0 or whatever it is.
Well, it's a good question. I think, well, again, it's very depends on use case. So
right, yeah.
Yes, so maybe if you're doing like some general robot that just can do everything, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
probably we will be do everything with the local LM at some point.
Yeah.
Probably. Especially if we will somehow separate the tasks. So, for example, I have
Yeah.
some LM on my robot that is just preparing the cake in the kitchen. Another part of another LM will do some cleaning of the garden, and
Yeah.
another something else.
Yeah.
Yes,
So almost
that
more specialized. You're yeah, I like that thought. You're able to shrink, maybe turn it into a medium-sized
Highly
language model
distilled.
instead of a large language model. You're able to distill it down into specific, because like my humanoid robot doesn't need to be trained on Shakespeare. Like like all these,
You don't know what I want to do
maybe
with my
if it's going to
robot.
be a tutor, maybe you do want to train on Shakespeare. But maybe there's different models, right? Like you get your humanoid robot. I'm kind of envisioning the future here now. You have your humanoid robot,
Let's hear it.
and they have different. It's like a marketplace, right? And you're like, okay, I got my humanoid robot to be a chef, a baker, and a driver. I want it to drive me around and these things. And so you just pick, you say, okay, I need the LLM where it can handle driving real time. You download that. That loads onto your humanoid robot. Baker, I need my robot to know what to do if an eggshell gets in the recipe, right? Like it needs to be able to handle those small things, which is all baked into that. See what I did there? Baked into that 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 model that you download. I think that makes a lot of sense to me, that you can distill it down into specific roles instead of a
yes,
general, it does everything.
Want LeBron
exactly.
James.
Yeah.
Gotta work on my
Actually,
shot.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't need only like have the humanoid robot for everything. Maybe it will be even like different
Mhm.
robots. For example, like for driving a car, you don't need to have a humanoid robot. Or
Yeah.
like even for baking like cookies, it's enough to have some cooking robot at your table.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, right. Yeah.
um,
Oh, that'll be interesting.
yes.
Be interested to hear, how do you handle hallucinations within, kind of the framework of one of your robots and the LLM integration? Do you just kind of accept that they're going to happen, or do you take some precautions against it?
Yeah.
Yes. So in case of the robots, it's again where it depends on the use case, and
Right.
like yes. So for example, in that train dilemma, it been just it's not a production product. It's the project. It just like to show up the use case. So it wasn't been any precautions from the hallucinations.
Hallucinations probably make it funnier for that one.
Yeah, probably.
Exactly. Same in Tinder GPT. It like the more it hallucinating, the better.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yes, but I imagine, for example, if we'll have some real robot, yes, it could be a problem in some cases when we have like big dangerous robot.
Yeah.
So yes, so what we can do here? Well, again, depends on use case, but for example, if we have drone that can like fly and can, for example, fly into some people, and what to do to make the robot not to fly into that people if LM will hallucinate something. Well, simple thing. The using the LLMs does not mean that we should resign from using the classical sensors, classical
Yeah.
algorithms. Yes, that been using all the time before.
Yeah.
So except of having that LM, which will be like brain of our robot and decide what to do, we can add some additional systems like collision avoidance systems, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that we have some sensors, and that sensor, even if LM decide to go forward, it will not go like with that.
Yeah.
Yes. It's fun fact. Actually, I remember I've been flying with that Mavic 3 drone, and
Yeah.
it has something like that. Like when you going closer to some obstacle, you push on forward, it's not going. Even when the human asking him to go, it will not go. So same thing here, like with LLMs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like generally, in my opinion, the approach we should use, like in LLMs, in placing LLMs into robots, is to make them like replace human. It's to make do like general commands high level, but not to make that low level control. We need to leave that systems like classical systems to do that control.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you have plane, you still have some systems that control on the ailerons, which angle that ailerons should be should take. But that will general system that LLM will just decide which direction we should fly, and that's all. Yes, so that cooperation.
That makes sense. And I think it's easy. It's easier for me to imagine an LLM being able to power a special, like a drone, like a delivery drone or something like that, where it's so specialized that it kind of has one task and it just needs to be able to reason through any iterations that happen. Oh, a bird's flying in front of me. I need to avoid the bird, or I shouldn't fly it. I should deliver the package. I shouldn't fly through the window. You know,
This guy's got a shotgun. I should avoid him.
I should fly away. Like it just needs to be able to handle those. What about? I know I'm bringing back to like humanoid robots. Do you think? I'm trying to envision what it's going to take for the majority of the population to want to adopt a humanoid robot that has an LLM brain, right? That can interact and it can speak. You can ask it questions and it's going to search the whole of human history and give you an answer. I wonder if that's going to scare people or make them trust the robot more. Do you have any thoughts there?
I mean, I think it's not the purpose of humanoid robots to be an Wikipedia search engine or like just talk with them. It's you can just run agent on the computer, and it's already a lot of agents nowadays that can search through internet and make some reports and whatever, can talk with you. But in my opinion, here robots will provide you with some mechanical part of all the process.
Yeah.
So they will be used usually when we need to, just to do with their hands.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Anything else, Spencer, you wanted to ask about LLM robots? Because I've been really excited to talk about Tinder GPT.
Now let's go on to Tinder GPT. I'm ready for it.
I'm so curious. If we can back up, because you said this was your first foray into building with Gen AI. What can we get the backstory? What fueled Tinder GPT?
Yes. So what is Tinder GPT? It's the application I created for replacing myself on Tinder, to not spend time on writing with different girls on it, but to make the agent that will do all that Tinder bureaucracy for me, and I will have just meetings in real life, and that's all.
Yeah.
And I remember the times. As I said, Jacob, it's been my first project with Gen AI. I remember when I've been starting that and having some friends who also started learning Gen AI.
Yeah.
Then been wondering, what should I do? Which project should I do to make some first Gen AI project to learn it in practice? But I haven't had that problem. I always been dreamt to build something like Tinder GPT that will do all the Tinder stuff for me.
Yeah, you're like, I am so sick of it. Just please
I've
do
been
it.
waiting years for this.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
And finally, I had a tool to do this.
Oh, that is amazing. How long did it take you to build?
How long? It's been a few iterations of it. I think a couple of months. I've been built it in different versions, like less advanced, more advanced one.
Okay.
Definitely now, like I would build it like in maybe a few days, but that been like just beginning of Gen AI. I've been learning about it. That technology also haven't been so developed, so it took definitely much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So
So I'd
actually,
be curious.
Mhm.
With Tinder GPT, what model is powering that? Is it GPT 4.0? What do you have under the hood, so to speak?
Yes. So at the very beginning of the project, I built it just with GPT-4 because like 2 years ago it been only GPT-4 available.
Right.
Now, like to be honest, I haven't been developed the project for like a few months already. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
return to it someday and make much more optimized version. So yes, there is GPT 4.0 under the hood, but I think it's like it could be like any model, probably Claude, for example, could be. Maybe not sure about Claude actually. Like Claude is definitely better in writing text, so also better in writing messages. But Claude is not good for Tinder as it is like it's too polite.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where my question was leading actually. Is like
Yeah.
I was curious if you have noticed, is there a particular model that happened to be particularly suave and good with the ladies, or is there one that just, can't handle talking to flirting with people?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like I haven't been experimenting with different models like that time some time ago, and but there's been like a big problem with it when you're developing the Tinder GPT, and you wanted to talk with girls like like a bad boy, and all the models they are so polite, so nice. They are
Yeah.
designed to be just nice chatbots. They just have no balls to have like good text for
Yeah.
Tinder and.
Oh, that's funny. I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah. So, I- how does it link with? So you're on Tinder. You're trying to connect with a woman. How does Tinder GPT automatically respond when a woman messages you, or are you having to give the message to Tinder GPT? It tells you what to say, and you copy paste it over. What's the linkage there? How does it work?
No. So, like at the very beginning, I remember some time ago, it been like a lot of quite similar, let's say, projects where like you installing some application on your phone, and it help you like proposes some messages, and
Yeah.
you need to copy paste it. No, Tinder GPT is not about it. Tinder GPT is about the complete automation of whole the
Wow.
process, like from the first message to the date. So
That's amazing.
so all you need to do is just like swap right or left the profiles you like or don't, and the rest of the job is in the GPT doing for you. Just writing the first message based on the description of the profile. Next, continuing the conversation with that girl or I don't know, maybe boy if someone like if some girl using it. Going to some stages of the conversation, like building some relationship. After that, inviting to the date, like scheduling the date, and so on. And when all that pipeline done, like told a few amazing stories and asked like a few questions about her, it asked about like phone number, proposed date, and when received a phone number in the message, just send me to my phone a phone notification
Oh my
that you
gosh.
have you have like that that date appointed.
Wow.
Has Tinder GPT ever made anything up about you that it's just like outrageously untrue that you then had to correct?
He made it all the time. It's
Part of
that's
the fun.
about.
Oh, you said I was a doctor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
No,
about that. That was Tinder GPT. That wasn't me.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
exactly.
Hopefully I never had like situation when I in real life I've been continuing the same conversation than in Tinder like never. but still, like, it's amazing that it's hallucinating like some fun stories, because like I
Yeah.
never had so amazing stories in my life as Tinder GPT can hallucinate for me.
That is so funny. So how did it work? Yeah, how many dates were you getting before Tinder GPT, and then how many were you getting after?
Yes, so okay, two questions. So how does it work? It's actually all work through the just through the computer. You like installing it, like cloning from GitHub and
Okay.
manually asking it to write some messages. Or the better way, but a little more advanced, to run it on the Raspberry Pi, when it can just run all the time and few times a day, enter Tinder and write the messages.
Got it.
Yes, but about that number of dates. So this is the actually common misconception people have about Tinder GPT. The main purpose of it is not actually increase the number of dates you have in. Main purpose
Okay.
of Tinder GPT is to allow you to not spend your time and lose your mental
Yeah.
health on the dating
Yeah.
applications.
Yeah. So you still get the same number, you just don't have to do everything to get
Yes,
the date.
exactly that. So,
That's amazing.
actual idea of the Tinder GPT, the purpose of it is like to save our time, our mental health. Like, I believe that Tinder is like, it's actually a very toxic environment. You
Yeah,
know,
very. Yeah,
it's,
totally.
exactly. And it's not only like our words, it's a lot of scientists like proven that is really harmful for people's health, and
Yeah.
Tinder is like, Tinder itself does not want to like make people happy, but just want to addict people from Tinder and make spend them money on the Tinder and time. So
Yeah.
when we have in some dangerous environment, for example, your house is in flames, it's better not to go into that house, but send some robot that will go into house, like save some,
Pull out your
some
date. Yeah.
most important stuff. Oh yes, and here is exactly the same. You send in the
Yeah.
robot in the toxic environment of Tinder, and it get your date for you from that environment.
I
That's
love
all.
that. So, have you thought about, I guess actually first, have you ever told a woman you've gone on a date with that, like, hey, Tinder GPT got us this date? Have you told them that, or do you just kind of let that, don't
No,
tell them?
totally. It's the best part of the date. Better not to do it on the beginning of date, but a little bit later.
Yeah.
Uh, after you already kind of ready
Okay.
for that situation.
So
And
do you
it's
think,
like, yes, just I will finish.
yeah, go ahead.
It's just the best part of the date when you talking girl that, hey, did you know that you've been picked up by AI?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. I'm trying to imagine if I went on a date with a woman and she told me that, if I love AI, so I'd probably be super impressed. I'd be like, you are so
I
cool.
think it would depend on the person too, how much
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the date.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's a sucky date, I'd be like, man, you suck. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But if it's going well, I'd probably be impressed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so interesting. So with Tinder GPT, when I started thinking about this, it brought up all these questions about more ethical questions about the future of human interaction, because I've seen articles. I mean, beyond that, we haven't talked about this for a long time, but a year ago or so, there was this big, it kind of went viral, people having AI boyfriends, girlfriends, and there was a woman who married an AI man. Anyway, that came to mind when I was thinking about Tinder GPT and what this means for the future, because you talked about how it's able to set up dates, but how amazing would it be if it could also, if everybody had a Tinder GPT, if you had an AI, almost AI representation of yourself where it's trained on you and it's able to filter through other individuals' AI so that the dates it's scheduling for you are filtered for you. And it says, I know Spencer, I know Grigorij, like here are the women that are gonna really make them happy. And it schedules those dates. I don't know, like it's a fascinating idea.
Uh, exactly. This is actually the purpose of Tinder GPT. I mean, we should differentiate two types of the projects. That first one you told about that digital girlfriend and the Tinder GPT itself, because first one is about making people like on the computer, addicted from the technology, and spend time with the digital girlfriend instead of real one. But Tinder GPT in opposite is making you to spend time with a real girl while doing all the digital work for you. So
I like that.
yes, about first type, it's okay. I'm happy that such project exists. The more digital girlfriends in the web, the more normal girls for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, but actual idea of here of Tinder GPT, and I mean, it's not actually about Tinder GPT itself. It's, in my opinion, it's about our future of communication, of internet communication. Like we as a humans are not created to sit all the day on the computer. We evolutionarily created to conversate with other people like in real life, not just texting. Like, and I really believe that someday our AI assistants, like Tinder GPT, but not only, will be just able to talk with one with another. We'll be able to do all that stuff in internet that normally we need to spend time to solve that. They will do it for us. They will appoint our meetings, and we as a human just will do, like, I hope, some real relations here in real life.
Yeah. So you're kind of optimistic case for AI is you believe that if we do it right, we can build a world where we can have the benefit of the internet without having to spend so much time on the internet.
Yes, we can say so. Exactly.
I like
that.
Yeah. Because it's an interesting problem of how do you what's the line between like a pro-social use of AI as communication and an anti-social one?
Pro-social and anti-social, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's all depends on use case. I mean, well, here is the Tinder and Tinder GPT. The Tinder itself is like very antisocial use because you like addicting people on Tinder, making them here like spend their attention, like waste their time on that, and Tinder GPT that saves you from it. So, in my opinion, like antisocial use of the technology itself, not only AI technology at all, is when you like addicting people from the technology and like make people to check all the time Instagram, for example, like Netflix, all that things that generating that dopamine, for people and addicting them without giving any like concrete value. So
this is an interesting thought that I hadn't considered before of AI as a way of disrupting kind of the attention economy. If I'm scrolling through Twitter, I spend a lot of time scrolling, but then there's like a handful of posts that I'm like, I'm glad I interacted with those. I'm glad I saw those. It would be nice if I had more efficient filtering sometimes. Had a little buddy be like, hey, I think that you'll like these posts.
Now get off.
Now leave. Or I'll beat you.
Yeah, exactly.
My humanoid robot standing behind me. Get off Twitter, Spencer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it does raise so many interesting questions about because Tinder GPT, like you said, it's told some amazing stories about you.
Definitely.
And I could see it.
The best ones.
It just raises also like regulatory questions, because for example, someone has a false Tinder GPT or a false Tinder. Now they can have Tinder GPT run it for them, and they could become even more successful at being fake and doing, whatever their motivation is. It's just this tricky fine line. But I think what I'm coming to as I'm talking through this is it's just like anything else in the world. That's what we're discovering with AI, that anything can be used for positive or negative. But it's the people. People are going to use things for bad and good, but that doesn't mean we should hate the tool and stop the tool.
I want to make a point off of that as well. I think that people tend to judge technologies too quickly in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get academic with it. Looking back, the first city in history. I was trying to combine those words. That doesn't work. Mohenjo-daro in the Indus Valley, right? Near as far as we can tell, the city was made possible through the invention of agriculture and, highly managed agriculture at the city level. And then also it ended up being the downfall of Mohenjo-daro because it ended up, they over-farmed the area, and, the conditions supporting the existence of the city collapsed, right? But, that doesn't mean that years later agriculture was still a failure, because these first adopters had a hard time with it.
Yeah.
Let's throw out the rest of human history. Agriculture sucks, right? And I think that I'm worried about people doing a similar thing with AI, where there's going to be initial failures in using it. There's going to be problems that arise, and I think the key is building enough really positive and cool use cases to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a little bit tangential. I've been thinking about that lately and wanted to
AI
get
is
that
just a
off my
tool,
mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
How we will use that tool, it all depends on us.
Yeah.
It's a technology. We have to use it consciously.
It's exciting but scary, because there are some people that come to mind that I do not want using AI. But there are many that should. And it's sometimes painful when you're talking to someone and you know what AI could do for them, the amount of time they're spending on a task, and it's taking away from their family, it's taking away from relationships, but if they could just automate it with AI, all of a sudden they'd have this time back to actually invest in themselves, their relationships, whatever it is.
Yeah, and to that point, I see.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, that's the point of making that automations like Gen AI agents, and yes.
Yeah. Totally agree. So
and sorry, quick comment on that as well. I think that a very common sentiment I see being expressed in kind of pop culture circles, especially pop culture circles that are kind of broadly anti-AI, is like, oh, where's the AI that does my household chores? I don't want an AI that can paint for me. And I think that the point that we have to make to those people is that the ability to be creative and the ability to fold laundry are shockingly close together in terms of in terms of intelligence. We need it all. We need creativity built into these things. We need humanity built into these things so they can fold your laundry. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
But it's also,
life is complicated,
so
and intelligence needs to be complicated as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally agree. Okay. See, I knew this would be a problem, Grigorij, that you have too much going on. You have too many exciting projects, but I do want to hear about Clean Coder. I know, we're definitely going to have to bring you on. But can you give us a quick history of Clean Coder? What led to it, and what is its purpose?
Yes. So actually, Clean Coder and Tinder GPT, has same purpose, just to free some my time to other things than either writing in internet or just writing a code. So Clean Coder is the project, is the just AI coder that appeared with the purpose of automating some my coding tasks I have in my startup, for example. So when like more than 1 year ago, I started my startup, drudgery.pl. I had a lot of just a lot of coding work to create that all the web application, like all the backend, front and stuff, so on.
Yeah.
And yes, and like okay, I could spend all my time like sitting 8 hours a day on coding, but I prefer spend that 8 hours a day on creating AI agents that will code for me in the
Yeah.
startup.
Yeah.
And that way, Clean Coder appeared. And well, many people could say that okay, but there's a lot of many other AI coders now, and it's true. But first of all, when I started doing that project, it didn't know any AI coders available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And second of all, like it's different AI coders. Some of them could be just like help you in some tasks. Like okay, can write some function for you, improve that part of code, that part, but have not that global vision of all the project.
Yeah.
And here's the idea of Clean Coder is to automate as much part of code as possible, to free as many of my time, like as many of users' time as possible, to be as much autonomous. And like to show you like concrete examples why we're doing it. It's like four main pillars actually we're working on Clean Coder to increase its autonomy, like in comparison to other AI coders. So first of them is the intelligence. Obviously, the more intelligent you have your AI coder, the less time you need to spend on debugging your code after that AI coder. Yes. So here, for example, we created a so-called planner agent like some time ago. It's something like Aider agent in like Aider framework, very famous one, and they have like architect agent that making a planning of whole code changes before like introducing the code itself. Which is like yes, which is cool idea because like when you think about something before doing it, you probably will do it better.
Yeah.
So yes. So fun fact, guys from Aider came with that idea like on the late October, as I remember, of 224. We have that feature in our Clean Coder like from very beginning of the project, like something like on February of 24, like half of year, more than half of year earlier. Now, lastly, we introduced the two-step planner, so making the planner agent even more advanced, allowing him to first think about the underhood logic of the code without proposing the code itself. Next, propose the code based on that logic, and next, write the code based on the code propositions. So it's like making it even advanced. Yes. So intelligence is the first thing. Second thing is the what we have the code-based research. So very often AI coders struggle with finding appropriate files to work on them when writing a code. So when you have like big code base, could be quite hard. And here again we using like quite innovative solution. Not many other people using it, if any. We describing by AI all the code in our code base, like all the files, and chunking the files by functions, and also describing all the functions, and then indexing the descriptions in the vector database. And actually, we are able to search by description, by semantic descriptions, our code base. So yes, like to comparison, the cursor have also some vectorizing of the code, but they have like they only vectorizing the code itself. to vector database without making descriptions in meanwhile, and like in my opinion, it just losing the sense of the code without that description part. Like
it likes to cursor if it doesn't find the file for the code in the folder that it wants to find the file in, it'll often just start writing new code, even when I'm like, I already have this util in here, man. You don't need to write it again.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yes. So, like in my opinion, our like code-based research system is one of the best, maybe the best of all the coders.
Yeah.
Again, yes. And third thing is all the automations we have around the clean coder. So, what do I mean here by automations? Is the work of the programmer is not just about writing a code. It's about very often testing the code. For example, you written some script, so you need to run the script to see if it's working, or you have some like mistake on the line 55. You have like wrong indent. Okay, so then go into line 55 and improve it in that. Like in another line, you have like forgot about closing bracket and so on. So we need our AI to be able also run that code and see if it created good code or like wrong code. So that's why we caring about. We created a Python execution functionality. We created even a front-end feedback feature, which means that when we running when we creating some front-end application, the clean coder can go into the browser, can log into our application it's just created, can make a screenshot of the front end and be able to see how our front end look like. And
Interesting.
Yes, and that way, like iteratively work on the front end, like it can see that okay, that red button should be in a different place, not in the top of the screen, but in the bottom. Yes, and it should not be red but blue, and so on. So yes, we just need to provide good feedback to our agent. And fourth thing, last one, is management capabilities. So actually, many of other coders, they just allowing you to provide a task, what to do with the application, and doing the task. But if we want really have that AI coder that will be one day be able to just run on our server and overnight create a new startup for us, we need the coder to be able to plan the tasks for itself. So that's why we have also manager agent that planning all the tasks in Todoist in our case. But,
wow.
It's like same the human Scrum Master planning task in Jira. So we need that AI just to plan the task for itself and then next execute the task. So
wow,
that's
this
all we do.
Sounds like it's getting close to AGI stuff here.
As I said, it's our purpose.
Yeah.
We're getting closer and closer. For example, even a fun thing we've done lastly. So for now, you have that list of tasks created by AI. You taking first task and executing it, and executing one after another. But lastly, we added that thing that when imagine you executing first task from the list, AI in the background starting also work on the next task. So for example, like you doing that, like functionality of creating the header of your page, AI in the background starting the file research for the footer of your page. And next, then you will finish the first task and starting doing next task. It's already half of done. It's just have already file research done, and you just need to go through the rest of iterations like without spending time on the file research.
Wow.
Yes. So like long story short, we're doing everything to make AGI closer and just to make people to spend as less time on coding as possible.
Love that. As we're wrapping up here, if you were giving advice to someone who's not necessarily into AI yet, a little bit worried about it, a little bit interested in it, what advice would you give to them to help them put their concerns to rest, or at least be better informed about them.
Well, you mean some non-technical persons? How can they be better informed how to
Yeah,
use the
exactly.
AI?
Yeah, and just how can they have a better perspective on AI in general?
Well, it's a good question. It's a question for the whole podcast.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. So, well, hard to say. I'm a technical person, so I have definitely different perspective.
Right.
But yes, but I advise to go to some AI conferences to meet some people on that field, to talk with them,
Yeah.
to see what they actually doing, what do they achieve. To listen such podcasts as AI Rebels and to also get know what's going on in that field.
Yeah.
Yes, so have that few sources of information like both internet and in person. And yes, definitely. Even lastly, I also actually also asked myself about such perspective. What can I do? Like, what perspectives are interested in AI field? Because I'm same. When I'm technical person, I'm sitting like very deeply in developing clean coder, and sometimes can miss some new updates of
Right.
technology.
Yeah.
So what I did,
yeah.
I just called like few of my friends who like also doing AI, talk about their opinion, like ask about their opinion, what do they think about it, and and yes, that's how you can do. Like it's just amazing to have nice friends, good one who know in what's going on in that field,
Yeah.
and talk with people
Yeah.
again.
I love
Just
that.
talk
We're
with
all in this
people.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
technology help us to join and not to divide.
Love that. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. If people want to follow you, follow everything you're working on, what are the best platforms for them to do that?
Yes, thank you for question. Definitely, all people interested can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Grigorij Dudnik, ask here. If you have, guys, any ideas for like some startup with the robotics and have some business cases, just write to me.
Yeah.
Also, if you like need to have some AI coder, ask Link coder to do your job, coding job for you, just
Yeah,
check
we'll
out the
drop
project
links
as
to
well.
everything. Yeah, we'll drop links to
Yes.
everything and your profile. And I hope we hear some success stories of people using Tinder GPT. That'll be fun.
I hope so as well.
Well, thanks, Gregory. We'll definitely stay in contact. We're very excited to see where you're at in even 3 months. I'm sure things are changing so fast.
Exactly. It's changed really rapidly. Thank you guys
Well,
for
thanks for
invitation
coming
in
on
the
the
podcast.
show. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
it's been really nice to talk with you.
Thank you.
Gregory.